Hello, everyone. Okay, I am going to share this on Facebook because I had an event planned on Facebook in my Ascension Cardology page, and I did choose for it to go live automatically, and I think it did. And I think it recorded me just sitting here at my computer trying to find out how to get in. So instead, I'm posting a link on Facebook. I mean, this Meta Business Suite, I'm sorry, but it just has me so freaking frustrated. Okay, what the heck are you doing now? Oh, gonna break the internet. Okay, video link. Okay, that's all. I'm just gonna post it in my regular page, and hopefully I'll have people coming over. Now I'm gonna try one more time. Share. Sorry, I am just getting my frustration out here. Can we do copy? No, it doesn't want to do. Okay, what's this? Copy video link. Here's my Ascension Cardology. Okay, is this my page? It's really hard for me to do two things at once here. Can I just find a place to post something on my business page? I swear, how do they expect anything to happen? And then it doesn't want to do the, if I monkeyed around with it enough, sometimes it will give me the option to paste. It's just insane. This is insane. Paste. Okay. There's the link. It's on Ascension Cardology. Excuse me, I'm going to burp. Going back to YouTube. Here we are. Well, we have one person watching, which probably means the folks at YouTube are watching. So here's my new living room, all painted red. I'm so excited about it. And at the beginning here, and thank you so much, Jan, for showing an interest, and I marketed it internationally, my new page, and I got a response from somebody over there with a Cyrillic alphabet, so I couldn't read it, but I hope you're watching and you understand English. So let's see, should I wait for people to join? I have got so much I want to talk about right now. I am bursting. We will eventually get people to join. So let's just do a reading right now for those watching on the replay and for myself. Trying to get cheerful. My God, I'm so pissed off at Facebook right now. 10 of Spades. This is the card of ultimate success. Más importantes, because it's my ascending Saturn card. So what do I mean by ascending? It just means to the right and up instead of the left and down. It's that simple. Plus, how do we interpret ascending Saturn versus descending Saturn? So when I say descending, okay, I don't have an established vocabulary for, I'm just going to call it to the left and to the right. So we have to the left and down, which is how we understand our hands that we're dealt. Then we have to the right and up. So there's a little tricky moment. And I'm going to use both spreads to explain it. So here I am, the 7 of diamonds. So Moon, Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, etc. This way and down. So when we go this way and up, come over here. So this way and up. And the way you can see it is 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. You go in the order of the cards. So nothing has changed. The roadmap has not changed. Yay, you caught me live. Thank you. Mistel, is that how I say your name? Mistel. So, yes, that's how we figure out what our ascending hand is. So, is anybody here from my Facebook link? Did you find me from my Facebook link? I guess I'm just crestfallen about that because yesterday was really the birth because I named it Ascension Cardology yesterday. It came through on a Three of Spades day. And so I created a Facebook page called Ascension Cardology. And I couldn't get I couldn't get the camera to work for my scheduled presentation. Oh my gosh. Awesome. Then let's start out using the 7 of diamonds as an example. Okay, I also pulled the 4 of clubs. This is interesting to talk about because this is in the descending, this is what's called our like Jupiter plus or cosmic lifetime reward is this sanity card. And it's like, yes, if a 7 of diamonds can get really clear about their mind and what they believe and, you know, get to that internal mastery of your own subjective consciousness and what you believe, that is a massive reward for a 7 of diamonds to show up and say, I listen to myself and I'm sane. That's huge. And I'm just reading 3 cards that I threw, and I threw the 9 of diamonds, which, according to the 9 of hearts spread, is our descending Saturn, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. So I think it's really telling us there's a focus on Jupiter, Saturn, as well as 8 of spades, which is strength. Pretty rough lately. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Maybe tell me how old you are, and we can look up what your long range card is and how we might look at that in a new way. So you can apply ascending to the right and up cardology to any single card. Any single card, a 52-day card of influence, a long range card, most importantly, a birth card. I'm going to see if I can expand this so my face is a little bit bigger. Bigger. It's an apple, so I don't know how to find the full screen button. There. Okay. Oh, 52. Right on. Fun age. Okay. So in the way that the 52nd year is ruled by the King of Spades, why do you think that is? It's because the 52nd card is the King of Spades, which means no matter what age you are, there is a card of influence based on your age. So plus 52, I'm pretty sure it starts over again, which would mean that me at 55, I'm working the 3 of hearts. And that certainly seems to be true because I'm manifesting a lot of Queen of Clubs in my life, the karma card to that. So I don't remember the 52nd year being very peachy for me either. And I think it's partly because if it's the King of Spades, if it's ruled by the King of Spades, then that means it's in the circle of 7. And the way I interpret that as a circle of 7 card is that whenever a circle of 7 card shows up anywhere, it's kind of like Joker's Wild. It's like your galactic karma, your super ancient past life archetype. I mean, this circle of 7 really is a mystery. And I have been delving into it for about 25 years. And one of the things that I've come to is that every one of those 7 cards is it's a divine archetype, like it's an aspect of the divine. So the King of Spades is source, creator. The Jack of Hearts is the Christ or the incarnation of the Christ into the world. The 9 of Hearts is the Holy Spirit, the comforter. The 7 of diamonds is the prophet to the king, because 7s don't seek power. They're this bridge between, they're exactly halfway between the king and the ace. So they're this bridge from the divine down to the planet. So 7 is like prophet to the king. And as a 7 of diamonds, you might notice you have a lot of kings in your life who consult you. And I don't feel threatened by any of the kings. Sometimes their ego makes them think they're in charge, and I have to discover myself in the context of their energy. But The bottom line is they want to know what you know. Your dad's birthday? Thank you for sharing that. Wow, that is some intense karma. My mom was the King of Spades, and my daughter is the Eight of Clubs. My partner's planetary ruler is the Nine of Hearts. So, yeah, and my grandmother is the Eight of Clubs. So there's, yeah, we show up in each other's families a lot because there's this really intense karma. Okay, so then the Two of Hearts is divine union. Like Rumi talks about the lover and the beloved, and the Bible talks about the bride of Christ. It's that the emotional bonding with God as other. And then the Ace of Clubs brings you back down to I am. I am source. It's the Buddhic consciousness of I am. And then it whoop circles right back around to the source, King of Spades. So that's kind of something that's come through to me about the Circle of Seven. What's what I call it. So let's talk about the Ten of Spades. The question, hi, Jan. So Jan, remind me what your card is. It is so nice to see you. I used to do Facebook Lives and then Meta took over and they've made it nearly impossible. It is so incredibly difficult to just do a live video on Facebook. And I couldn't even manage it for this event. I was so excited. So you went to your best friend's funeral. So like around the same age on the 2nd. Oh, that's rough. Good grief. 10 of Hearts. Yay. Okay, so that means that you are 72, 71. You know what's really strange, Jan, is all of a sudden I have tons of 71-year-old women in my life. Or 70. Something really important. Oh, she was 33, and you know what? The 7 of Diamonds is the 33rd card, so that's really interesting. You know, there might have been I don't know. She died at 33. That's wow. And when was her birthday? What was her card? So I'm going to look up your hand real quick just because that's a massive trauma that you're dealing with. Age 52, 7 of Diamonds. When's your birthday, dear? She's born on December 14th. Okay, hi Doris. Good evening. Where are you that it is evening for you, Doris? You must be in Europe or England, because then it would be 3 plus 7, which would be 10 p.m. your time. Okay, December 14th is, oh no, wait, we're looking at 11:23. That's the 10 of Hearts and Ace of Diamonds. So you have 9 of Spades. Mistel in Uranus and Neptune. So like the last 3 months of the year for you until your birthday. So when's your birthday? It could be that. And let's see, 7 of Spades is the Pluto. So it's a really deep call to trust and be in faith. The Bronx. Oh, okay. So it's just 5:30 out there. That's funny. Isn't it amazing what a huge difference 2 hours can make? So Doris, tell us your birthday. I'm going to take some notes here and just write down the birthdays that we've got. 7 of Diamonds, 10 of Hearts. Mistel, 52. You know, the King of Spades, 52nd year, may be asking us the question, what do you want to be responsible for? Because that's what that's about. Okay, and then August 7th, you're the day after my birthday, which makes you the 6 of Diamonds. And 1955 means you're 65, 75, 85, 95, 05, 15, 66. Born in 55, and you're 66, and I was born in 66. There's another weird number thing. Okay, this is Jan. So good to have you guys here. Okay, so I'm going to talk about Ascension astrology. It's not astrology. I keep wanting to call it Ascension astrology because that's in the field, but Ascension Cardology just kind of got born yesterday. I didn't see it in the field anywhere. I've been playing with this idea for a number of years where and this is my MO with the cards, is that I just experiment with um, possibilities. I have theories. I try them out. I'm like, okay, so they're using this principle of going in this direction and counting the planets this way. What if we went diagonally and I go Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter? So is that person Saturn to me? Does that work? Yes, that works. So taste and see that the Lord is good. The mystic taste, the mystic test book. Yeah, that was something I was going to like coin for myself, was the mystic taste. That was something for me somewhere. The taste and test are the same word. And so the point of this whole system is try it and see how it tastes. Does it work? So a theory that I tried is reading your hand backwards. So because there's 2 7 of diamonds in the group and I threw the 10 of spades kind of before anyone showed up, I'm going to talk about that. So if you start with the 7 of diamonds and you go, okay, 5 of spades is now our moon card. So that ADD tendency, or the 5 of ability to attend to a lot of things at once, it's presence. It's kind of outside time. It's like when you're playing and having fun, like the 5 of spades is the archetype of the traveler, the scientist, and the child. So when you're traveling and you're in, downtown Naples and you're like tasting the grapes, you're like, oh, you're completely engulfed in the experience. Hi, Seer. When's your birthday? I'm writing down everybody's birthday so we know the cards in the group. So being present, that 5 of spades, it can be very kinetic, but when we really dial it in the positive, and that's what Ascension Cardology is about, is when you go to the right and up, you look at the high side. So this does start with the moon card, which is behind you and hidden. So now that 5 of spades becomes a hidden secret that is an emotional support, and it's our interpreted positive. You're a 7 of diamonds too. Imagine. So I'm talking about the 5 of spades as our moon card as opposed to our Mercury card. It's the capacity to be present. And when I find myself thinking in a 5 of spades way, which is like really ADD, I know I'm kind of in the descension astrology, or looking into the past to resolve old issues. One is not better than the other, but I think we've reached a point in time where we can begin to focus a little bit more on where we're going and how we want to self-actualize. It's the whole Abraham Maslow theme. We have a psychology for the sick. Now we need a psychology for the well. And that's where transpersonal psychology was born, and the idea of self-actualization. And okay, I've sorted through my issues. Now where do I want to go? So that's what Ascension Cardology helps you decode, and you have been doing it. That's this wonderful discovery, is that when you read your hand in reverse, you go, oh, I've been doing this for a long time. And then you see that we bounce back and forth. So the ascended 5 of spades as a moon card, it's freedom. I know that I am free to navigate, to come and go, to leave this conversation, to attend this meeting, I wanted so badly for 10 years to join a band again, because I was in a band for about 5 years. It was so much fun. And then that went away. And then I was like, oh, I really want to manifest this again. I manifested it, and I did it for a couple of weeks. On Sundays, it was a church band, Unity Church. And then I was like, oh, this isn't working with me. So I quit the band. And I exercised that emotional freedom to come and go. Okay, so the 7 of hearts as a Mercury card now, that is the manner of speech, the delivery of speech. And as a 7 of diamonds, do you have the ability to communicate with an energy of unconditional love and acceptance, where everyone feels safe. There's forgiveness in the room. Someone described it to me once that I was giving readings as though, maybe this was me describing it. I can enter into the arena of someone's trauma or wound, and it's like a nurse with a burn victim. You can be so gentle, and the Seven of Diamonds does have that capacity. And then you move up to the Venus. The Venus card would be the Ace of Spades, which is the card of the cards. I love the cards. Venus is what you love. And there's been a movement recently from doing what we're driven to do, the Mars card informing that, to now the Venus card is informing us about what we want to do, what feels good. So I feel a need to draw in Jan. And if you guys have any questions, I know I'm talking about 3 of us in the group, but there's also a couple of you that I'm not, like Doris and Jan. So Jan, your ascended Venus would be the 6 of Diamonds, which would be what you love is what you're called to do, a sense of fairness. 6s are about balance. Everybody feels like they're being treated fairly. Just go ahead and pop a question in here about your hand. You can keep it narrowed down to your hand, or, well, no, if it's one card, like if it's your long range card, or if it's your card of influence right now, or the card of someone in your life. If you have a question about one card, let's look at that. And Jan, I'm feeling called to talk about your moon card. So your ascended moon card would be the 10 of Diamonds. So instead of this being a Mercury vibration where you're thinking always everything, I have to be involved in everything, and everyone wants something from me. It's a very kinetic mind card. But if it turns into a moon card, there's, the secret that you are treasured and valuable and important to everyone. Okay, Jan, so I want to make sure I have your age correct. So Jan, is that right? You're 71. We can look up your long range card and I'll show you how you can interpret that. Yeah, you're 71, November 23rd, 10 of Hearts. 10 of Hearts, 71. 1123, you're probably in Mars. 1123, you are in Mars from March 8th to April 29th. Mars at 71, Mercury, 10 of Spades. You have the 10 of Spades right now. I'm laughing because that's like the first card that I threw down. Your long range card is the King of Spades. And our 7 of Diamonds friend, who is 52, the King of Spades is ruling her year. So what in the heck does that mean? Let's read the King of Spades in the Ascension way. So instead of going to the left and down, we go to the right and down so that we can go up. It's a little tricky, but stay with me. So the King of Spades moon card becomes the 3 of Hearts. Your emotional support this year is your friends, small groups, who is your tribe. And it's also flexibility in relationship, the ability for you to allow relationships to be unconventional. Your Mercury card is the 8 of Diamonds, which means this year you're thinking about, it would be safe to say, in planning out everything that you want, you're getting clear about what you won't tolerate anymore, what is unacceptable. I like the word unwilling because it brings in agency, and the opposite of unwilling is willing. So what are you unwilling to put up with anymore? And that 8 of Diamonds is, when you meet the 8 of Diamonds, I've nicknamed them the asshole card because they have that quality of sovereignty about them. They don't care what you think. And I'm telling you, there was a time in my life where my neighbor across the street, an 8 of Diamonds, listening to her talk about traffic was the most refreshing thing in my day. because she would just be all up in her, you know, is very refreshing. So there's this like I'm not having it, you know. So, but the 8 of Diamonds in the positive is what is really really important to me, and in this crown position, this it's called the pinnacle position, your perspective. And that's a thing about the King of Diamonds I didn't get until right this very moment. I made an observation about, sorry, the King of Spades last week or a while back, that it's not about getting your ducks in a row in the physical world. That's more the Queen of Spades. The Queen of Spades is take responsibility for your consciousness and then look how you're manifesting into the world. The King of Spades really is more about your mind. How are you seeing your big picture? How are you, I don't know, taking your life into account, your age, your what you want, where you're going, you know, that kind of thing. You're just kind of taking it all in. And the reason why that is true is because when this is the Mercury card, that makes all the sense in the world. You're looking at the woo big picture. This is the CEO card, and you're having a CEO moment in your life. I'm having a CEO moment in my 52-day period because that's my 52-day card. Well, for 7 of Diamonds every other year, right? On the even years in your life, odd years in your life, it's your Saturn card, which I'm 55, so a lot of King of Spades energy here. Spades are all also about doing. And if you're a feeler, but you're compelled to do, it can be really disorienting. It's like this, we've been having this incessant wind in Colorado recently. And while it's, you know, spring and great, you know, it's like, it's annoying, it's irritating, but it's like it strips away the good feeling that pools around you and the stillness of the sunlight. And, you know, that's what the busy, doing energy can do to somebody who is a heart or they're in the Venus line. And we have 6 of Diamonds in the house, Doris. I haven't spoken much to you. If you're still in the room, ask me a question. What card do you want me to look at in your life? And interpret it in the Ascension Cardology way. It is a bit complex. But let's keep it simple with where you're at. So let's continue to talk about the King of Spades because this is Jupiter. You want to look at your Jupiter period? Because that's where you're at? Or like be a little more specific. Okay, August 7th, you're in your Saturn period right now, Doris. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, then just stay with the content and what makes sense. Because this, Mistel, okay, then Jan, thanks. This is going to be really relevant for you, Mistel. Everything I'm about to say about the King of Spades hand, it's an influence for your 52nd year. So thinking about the big picture. And then the 10 of Clubs is Venus. And this would include friendships and so forth, women and what you enjoy in the home. And the 10 of Clubs is, it's the paradigm shifter, and it's a very full mind. There's a lot. You haven't been able to spend much time on this. Oh, well, I'm really glad you joined us. I'm sure there's, you know, there's a big purpose to this. This is about you being willing to be the paradigm shifter, maybe at home or in the context of women in your life, to have a strong voice. Like, I know something here. I really, really do know something. And Robert Camp once said that, I was in a workshop with him. He wrote these books and stuff. The 10 of Spades, the 10, the 1 is like the boldness of the pioneer and the new beginning, but the 0 means you've been around the block. So it's like past lives are informing your knowledge. You're like, if you have something to say in the context of home or family or women in your life, really get that this is coming from a deep place of knowing. So this has to do with Jan because it's her long range card, me for this month, and Estelle because it's her long range card. Seer, did you tell us what your birthday was? Okay, I'm just going to continue. Oh, yeah, you did. You're the 7 of Diamonds. 1960, which means you're going to, that you're about to turn 62. Well, let's look yours up for a sec. So you are in the Neptune, the last gasping breath of this year, of your 61st year, and you have 7 of clubs. Your long range card has been the Ace of Diamonds, but guess what? Your Pluto is the 10 of Spades. There again, we have to come back to the 10 of Spades. Your Saturn was the King of Spades, so this is going to be relevant for what you deal with every other year. Oh, isn't that tricky? Okay, so is your mom really up right now? Because she's your Venus card. So this is something that happens is when a person looks at the card with the Robert Camp system, they tend to just zero in on, oh, 5 of Diamonds. It means I'm going to travel for business. And it's like, no, you get the whole hand. And so this is a much more in-depth way to sort of capture a period of time. And we generally live in like, a week to a month sort of, here's what I've been dealing with. So the 52-day period is a really great way to kind of hone in on the hand of the card. So then Mercury, Venus, Mars. This is the ascending hand. Yeah, the crown goes down. Ascending. So this would mean that your libido could possibly be really high. It's a sexuality card, among other things, in a sexual position, Mars. That's your Pluto card for this year, Seer. Yeah, 10 of Spades. It asks you the question, how successful do you want to be? How do you deal with being very, very, very busy? Are all of the horses in the stall, but they're not hooked up to the wagon to drive you forward? How are you dealing with all of that horsepower? It's bliss. It becomes bliss. And we happen to be talking about the Queen of Spades, and under it is the 10 of Spades. Isn't that crazy how all of these things are related? So 10 of Spades in Pluto, Seer, could also be Queen of Hearts in Pluto. It's like, how are issues of sexuality, marriage, motherhood, addiction, bliss? Just call it bliss. All the ways you get to bliss: marriage, motherhood, addiction, divine union. And it's Neptune. So that's where the drugs come in. There can be a lot of illusion around falling in love, marriage, motherhood, drugs, but when it's the Yogananda version of the Queen of Hearts, and he's the 9 of Hearts, 9 of Spades rather. So this makes, like, he had a love affair with the Divine Mother. So when you think of the Divine Mother, like Mother Mary and, that kind of thing, and you feel that touch of divine compassion that comes from that energetic of incredible authority, but incredible love. Really, really healthy mother. If you've ever been touched by that energy, that's the Queen of Hearts too. So carrying on, Mars, Jupiter. The Jupiter for the King of Spades hand is the 6 of Spades. And let's just tie in Saturn, the 6 of Clubs. So the sixes together, Jupiter and Saturn, this means some karma being exercised. And when we think of karma, just think about balance. Balancing the karma is what's called for. There is something that was planned, destined. There's an appointment, and it's you can kind of relax into it. When I see a 6, I relax. So it's like, oh, good, there's a plan, and I'm on a train, and it's just going to unfold. I have 2 granddaughters coming this year. Wow, that is really cool. Meaning twins? Okay, so that's the idea with this whole. Oh, and then the 9 of Spades is the Death card, and it's sitting here in a Jupiter position. So, Mistel, I would counsel you to see how that agreement you may have made before you came in together for your friend to pass away at this time in your life is a massive blessing. It's going to expand your heart space. Two daughters, both pregnant. Oh, so these little babies are coming in together. Talk about planning. Yeah, how is this going to help you remember some really deep things and expand? I'm just seeing it's expanding your capacity to love. And that Eight of Diamonds, man, there's nothing like death to bring life into focus and think about the big picture. So, yeah, this is a really, what Robert Camp says about the King of Spades. Oh, you'll be all so blessed and, all your shit's going to come together. And, it's like, no, it's complicated. It's more complicated than that. So, yeah, wow. So, where do we go from here? I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think Ascension Cardology is important right now. I really firmly believe that we as a collective have been prepared for this moment in time. And for me personally, I know that I'm not sure why at 55 this is the deal for me. I've got Eight of Diamonds in Pluto, Queen of Diamonds results, so I'm having to, get a lot of clarity on what's important and where I'm going. And I'm just about to launch into age 56 in August, which is a new 7-year cycle. But I can tell you just planetarily what feels really clear to me is that we have been taken through the ringer this entire lifetime in terms of let's look at our issues, let's be the gatekeeper in our generation so that this shit doesn't get passed on. And if you go to my other channel, that's just my name, Paula Kruger, and you look up my video on my ancestral healing, I should have called it generational healing because it was all around my grandmother who was born in Kiev. And she was born right around 1900 and then came over here around 1920-ish. So that 20-year period I've really been researching, and it was, the Russian Revolution, the fall of the Tsar, all that stuff happened, 1917, and the deprivation that they were experiencing as German immigrants. They were German, they came over in the 1700s. Catherine the Great invited them all over, and they were on the Russian steppe and they were developing it, Anyway, sorry, I get lost in the weeds. That deprivation came up for me to clear out. I've also had to get some clarity on my ADD. I've had to get clarity on my eternal child archetype. I've had to get clarity on my codependence and my marriage. And it's like finally I've gotten to this Saturn period, and then this whole Ascension Cardology came through, and it was birthed over the course of the last week. But yesterday was the day that the name of it came to me. And I know it's because I am ready and the world is ready. The vibration of the planet and where it's going, the mycelium of synaptic connection that we're watching happen in our lives, the synchronicity, just as I've been talking, the synchronicity of what you're saying and then what I'm talking about. And it's the synaptic connections are growing. And I actually do believe that the mycelium and various plant medicines have consciousness, and they're like, we're ascending and these humans need some help. So now it's, the sitting in ceremony with plant medicine is just really spreading. And it's really good. It's lifting up the consciousness. And I think it's happening faster and faster. And I think this came through because now it's time for us to focus a little bit more on our potential and where we're going and what we've come to heal the world with. What's our individual contribution? And I think we all just came to be here, period, to hold consciousness for the planets, for this ascension moment. And now that we're on this positive timeline, we can all go back home and say, oh my God, like my feeling is like there was about a 40% chance that we were going to get to this point with the positive timeline. We got there, there's a critical mass, and now it's like, okay, everybody go home and like pull out that notebook of what you were going to do if it came to this positive potential. So I'm just watching people's alarm clocks going off, and they're like, this is my healing modality, and this is my path, and we're going to put together this collective. And it's a little difficult to watch it happen to other people and for it to not happen to you. But just don't even go there. That's the comparison demon of despair. You're exactly where you meant to be. And now I'm going to talk about the Two of Spades today. Actually, I might go on Clubhouse and do that. I run into syncs all the time. I'm a life path 22. My dad is 11. My mom is 33. Holy Toledo. And I find that my life unfolds in 11-year increments. I moved to Colorado at 11. I got married at 22. I got divorced at 33. Found my twin flame at 44. And now I'm 55. And I'm setting on this new path that I began feeling last September. I'm like, well, I'm 55. It hasn't happened yet. Well, it just happened like yesterday, kind of. Plus, I almost left my partner, and then we realized we were supposed to stay together because of the Ten of Spades. The Ten of Spades. Here's my ADD coming out a little. The Ten of Spades is Saturn to the Seven of Diamonds. Okay, Jan, this was relevant to you if you're still watching, because I think you have it right now. Yes, I'm going to leave it at that. I know you have it right now. The Six of Diamonds, Seer, and you're 61. Do you have Ten of Spades anywhere? I don't see it popping out, so I'm sorry if this isn't relevant, but I'm going to go into this. So Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and this is the composite card for my marriage. Two of Spades is your daughter. Wow. I know, right? It just keeps popping off. Seven of Diamonds. The Queen of Hearts is our transformed self card, which means there that Ten of Spades shows up again. How successful do you want to be? How happy do you want to be? How much bliss can you handle in your life? And Seven of Diamonds takes a hell of a lot for them to get to a place of saying yes to a lot of joy and happiness. Yeah. And now that you're 52, when you turn 45, you started working the Nine of Hearts hand, which makes this Venus to the Nine of Hearts. And anyway, so the Ten of Spades really is, it's horsepower. And we're not always in a position to make use of horsepower. And I watched my husband go through a period about 10 years ago when he had the Ten of Spades in Mars. And I was like, oh, he's going to be really busy. His career is going to take off. And he actually tried to drink himself to death during that month. He was in Michigan. I was here. I didn't know how bad it was. We just lost contact for a while, and he was just in oblivion. He was in the pit of despair. And since I've been observing the Ten of Spades, I've been looking at that. When your horses are all in a row and you're clear about where you're going and what you want. I mean, spades mean that the hearts, the clubs, the diamonds, everything has to be lined up. Yeah. To get to arrive at a complete energy of the spade. For some people, it can manifest as just busyness. It just means a lot of things are in your field. That's definitely true for me, but right now, but there's more clarity now than I've ever had in my life about where I want those horses to go. So yeah, for the Seven of Diamonds Ascension, the Saturn question is how successful. Saturn is an invitation to mastery. Okay, in the descension line, the way we learn, Saturn is the tough classroom. It's going to knock you upside the head. Saturn now, okay, and before I ever got into this Ascension cardology, I could tell that Saturn was my friend this year, and it was the astrology. I was listening to Molly McCord, and it just came through again and again and again. Wow, Saturn has shown up, but this time he's my friend or she's my friend. There's this energy of, I'm behind you, I'm holding you, I've got this, and we're going to make some progress. Oh, thank you. My analogies. Saturn is our friend. So I was looking forward to my Saturn period this year, which started March 3rd. And seer years started March 4th. Saturn is an invitation to mastery. What do you want to get really good at? And Robert Camp doesn't call the Seven of Diamonds the millionaire's card for nothing. I think he knows about this. I think the masters of all of this, the adepts or whatever, I think they know about this. I think I knew about this way long time ago. I think all of us that study the cards have had a history with knowing this in, beyond ancient times. There's a familiarity about it for a lot of us. But this, yeah, the invitation for, wow, here's how I'm actualizing. So, Seven of Diamonds in the ascended Ace of Spades is the ability to be a defined individual in the context of friendship, especially with your women friends. And for me, that's been really challenging. I just like, I mean, most of them have really good boundaries, but I tend to kind of merge and stuff and get all codependent with them. But they've been this opportunity for me to be like, okay, I can own my energy and my space. Okay, I'm going to talk about the Two of Spades, speaking of which. So today's the Two of Spades, tomorrow's the Ace of Spades. On Clubhouse, I'm going to do a presentation with Dr. Sue on where is the card system going, because this is the card system. So let's look at the Ascension hand of the cards themselves. I'm looking forward to seeing what will come through tomorrow. But the Two of Spades today. So here's the deal that I got in Shavasana and this morning. How can you be your own friend? Are you loyal to yourself? Oh my God, I love that. Because your birthday's 7/8. Okay. You're a Cancer. That's crazy. You've got a lot of numbers that line up. That's so cool. So the Two of Spades. Today is the Two of Spades. It's the friendship card down here. So, hold on. A sneeze coming. Okay, so yeah, it's called the friendship card. My daughter is now dating a Two of Spades, and the kind of the more generic meaning is the friendship card. There are people who know how to show up in a physical way to be your friend. Like they'll listen to all of your emotional stuff, but they'll also show up to help you move your refrigerator kind of thing. But the deeper meaning is loyalty to the self. All twos are all cards are about you. The kingdom of heaven is within. So what is the two? It's that didactic back and forth. It's the conversation. To be a two is an invitation to have a relationship with yourself in some way. So wherever a two shows up in your hand, that's where that is relevant. So today, the challenge is, can you stay with yourself? Can you choose your story and your experience above what's happening around you? So yesterday I had this huge breakthrough day, and then it's like a self-actualization hangover the next day. And I'm like, oh, what qualifies me to do this? And I'm, too big for my britches. I'm stretching my capacity for happiness and success. So there's going to be this bounce back. And the first thing I listened to in the Clubhouse thing today, a Seven of Clubs gal was having a talk called Choose Yourself, Two of Spades. And I just tuned in right away. And within 10 minutes, I was crying. And I was like, oh, I get to choose my own experience. I don't have to listen to these voices that are popping off and making me feel insecure. Oh, that's great. I got to choose my authentic experience, and it was more of a vibration than a conversation. It was like I came into alignment with, wow, I get to be scared. I get to be in resistance. I get to have an experience that I can't even name, and I can let it be there. Like she called me out for saying something like, oh, sometimes I'm lazy. And she's like, oh, I'm going to call you out on that. And I hope Julia finds her way over here. And she said, what if lazy, sister is Seven of Clubs? That is really funny. Wow. It's a tricky card. Let me just tell you, there is a humility and a wisdom and a difficult life and all the struggles that they have. And then there's this thing, are they going to be a victim and subconsciously try to control and maneuver you? They have a relationship to power, but do they know it? Do they know when they're trying to manipulate and control? That's the tricky thing for the Seven of Clubs. And as a Nine of Hearts, it's our Mercury card. So I'm always trying to control the conversation. That's why like lives work for me, is because I get to control the whole conversation. Clubhouse is a place where I'm learning to, okay, can I just shut up and invite people to talk? Anyway, so back to the Two of Spades. Here's the Ascended hand. And this may be what we're touched by and experiencing today. Do we have the Eight of Hearts in our back pocket? The Eight of Hearts is power of love. It's empowered love. It's the empowerment of, I love myself, and I'm really clear about that. I've chosen it. Eights represent agency. That's why the Eight of Diamonds, I like to say, what am I unwilling to experience? Because, like, especially as women, we need to learn how to say no. Hello, Chaylee. I'm good. How are you? When's your birthday? So we can keep track. I'm keeping track of all the cards in the house today. So you've got that in your back pocket, and it's a secret. You don't have to tell anyone. I'm on my own team. I'm on this team. I'm on Team Paula. I'm not going to tell anybody. And that, like, it's like wearing lace underwear. Nobody knows about it but you. And you're feeling sexy, No way! We now have, what is it, 3 or 4 Seven of Diamonds? We have 4 Seven of Diamonds in the house. It's a Seven of Diamonds party! Okay, how old are you? Okay, so March 16th means you're also the King of Diamonds. This is cracking me up. Chaylee, okay, Seven of Diamonds. And did I say that right, Chaylee? Right now, how old are you right now? Yeah. You just turned... Waiting. You're 38! Okay, since I have the Seven of Diamonds page open, let's look at your long range card. Ooh, Five of Clubs, change of mind, volatility, research, learning, new information. Jack of Clubs, Pluto, super activated, new information coming in, new thought paradigms. Okay, and you have Queen of Hearts and Ace of Clubs right now. So, and you're in the last year of a 13-year period. You just started the last year, the 13th year of your Mars period, which has been focused on the Nine of Clubs. And then you begin a Nine of Spades focus next March. So the Queen of Hearts comes into our conversation because the Ten of Spades sits under it. And we talked a lot about the Ten of Spades earlier. Is that better? For me, it was a hell of a lot better. How about for all the other Seven of Diamonds in the room? When you turned 39, did things begin to improve significantly? My 30s were so hard. Oh, they were so hard. They really sucked. Doesn't for everybody, because you're also the King of Diamonds. And I assume by your question that you've had kind of a rough 13 years. Yeah. That's great. The nines in our hand going this way are about ending and closure and finishing out. It's a blessing. You're cleaning house. Yes, I'm a Seven of Diamonds, August 6th. You're cleaning house for that 26-year period, and you're halfway through. I'm 55, so I stepped into my next 13-year period at 52. Is that right? Yeah. So that's another thing, Miss Stell. At 52, we enter into that next 13-year period, which is then ruled by Saturn, the second Saturn return. But by this time, we might be moving more up into the Ascension hand. So Charlie, I didn't say that right. Chaley. Anyway, the Ascension cardology is about going the other direction. So moon, sun, this is the seven of diamonds hand, ascending, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. So now I'm focused on this Saturn, which is, and this is really marking this new 13-year period of my life. How successful do I want to be? Oh, good. Isn't that amazing? And trust your own learning process. You bet. So we're talking about the Two of Spades, which is today. And I've just recently discovered this very fundamental basic, and I don't have all of the latest software and the really complicated algorithms. And I'm telling you, when I got a look at that in the Mystic Test Book, so this was written by Olney Richmond in like 1890 something. It was the first time recently in recent history that someone came out and said, okay, I'm going to tell you what this is all about. These cards, they are actually a very complicated divinatory system, and we've been hiding that from you. So he came out with it then, and this has got the most advanced math and stuff. And at one point I was like, nope, because my path is to use the tools that everyone is going to use and find profound, helpful stuff. So I just know that my lifetime, it's not about that this time. And I'm not dissing it. I'm just saying I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I like math. Okay. So today I've recently learned, because if you go on Clubhouse and you just get into the card clubs, cardology clubs, oh my God, they're dropping some incredible wisdom in there. It just blows my mind. And something that Diamond 8 does is she just talks about the card of the day. Both of them, and King of Hearts. My brother is the King of Hearts. Is that crazy or what? I know. It's like so connected. Oh, I know. And King of Hearts, like, I kind of worshipped my brother, King of Hearts, for the longest time. And we're kind of on the outs with each other right now. I took a long time to have to differentiate from him, because he was totally on a pedestal and he thought he was perfect, but turns out he's human. So anyway, the Two of Spades. Okay, so having today, this applies to all of us today. Wow, that's fascinating. See, but you're also that King of Hearts, because it's your Mercury card for your Ascension hand. So moving into a place where this is how you speak to people, with this graciousness. King of Hearts know how to do this. The loving father playing chess in the game of love. He knows when to speak and when not to speak, how to say it, that kind of thing, and how to not say it. That's the emotional maturity of the King of Hearts. Your sister, your brother, and your mom? So you must really feel like the odd duck out sometimes, because I'm telling you, this is the most challenging thing to me about the King of Hearts, is that they're in the Mars line. It's all even cards. They're all pragmatic. They're always asking the question, what's next? They've always got a plan. They hate it when people don't follow the rules and think about each other. They hate it when people are inconsiderate. And you're like, I'm kind of the square peg in the round hole sometimes. Is that okay? Because seven of diamonds are in the Venus line, so they're all up in their feelings all the time. But see, it's about emotional mastery. It's about validating the feelings, and the feelings are your guide. Don't ever let them diss your feelings. King of Diamonds and Two of Diamonds, right? So they're all in the Mars line, and you are too. But you've got this lonely Venus line. So people helping you tune into the emotional realm, the women in your life, the hearts in your life. They get you to ask that question, how am I feeling right now? Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad you're here with us, with all of these seven of diamonds. So getting back to today for all of us, the Four of Diamonds in Mercury is a clarity of what's important to us. The Four of Hearts in Venus is, I feel secure and safe in the context of women and in small groups like we're doing right now. And like I did first thing this morning in that classroom, just crying with these women. Only one of them I've met, and I'm just crying, being like, oh my God, you're giving me permission to get back inside my story. So that's the choice we have with the Two of Spades is, like when we do something, like I tell this story. Back when I was in this other relationship before this one, it totally sucked. It was really, really toxic, and I stayed too long, and I needed to get out, and so a few months before I actually left, I manifested a flirtation. It wasn't an affair, but it was a flirtation with somebody, and I carried it on for the span of an entire week, which just about drove me insane. "Oh, good, you're on Clubhouse. Find me, find me, find me on Clubhouse." Paula Kruger. Also, I don't know. There's a club, Kismet Cards for the Future. So I started this kind of dalliance, and I don't know if this is true about you guys as Seven of Diamonds, but deception is not allowed in my psyche. Betrayal is not allowed. I can't do it. Even if like there's going to be a surprise and you have to like not tell someone that, or if something is supposed to be a secret. I mean, and there I was, my conscience just totally seared. And I was so, oh, that's so awesome. Your Kismet report. Yay. Keep in mind that it was written by a Seven of Diamonds, which might not always be the best to hear from, because any self-hatred might have been reflected in that report. I tried really hard. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I had this dalliance, and then it came out, months later. He found out about it from someone else, probably the gal that worked in the coffee shop where we had our, meetings. Oh man, she would shoot daggers at me. I've since left Boulder, so I don't have to deal with that anymore. But just keep in mind if you're a witness to something like that and you're like, she's the bad guy and he's the good guy, just remember you don't know the whole story. Yeah, I wrote it. So I wrote everything on that site. And it was the accumulation of my knowledge up till that point, which was about 4 years ago. And I've learned a lot since then. But anyway, so the way I got out of shame with this story, his, shooting daggers at me after we broke up, and how dare you do this, and you lied to me, and, I got to be the bad guy. I mean, the game he was playing was he was sabotaging that relationship for a long time, but he needed to be the victim. He programmed me and manifested an affair, and I didn't take it all the way to affair. He kept saying that that was going to happen. Oh, you're going to meet some guy and da 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 da. But my story, the only way I got out of the you're welcome. The only way I got out of the shame of that was to climb back into the situation. I'm going to close my other windows here because they keep blinking at me. Was to tell my story from the inside. I had to go back to the beginning of that experience and say I was really distressed in that relationship. Corey was abusive, was emotionally abusive to me. I was at a coffee shop, and this guy was the Nine of Hearts, the twin flame card to the Seven of Diamonds, the other side of our coin. And it turns out he was a real jerk, and it was like, ugh, got really gross at the end. And there was only like 1 or 2 days of bliss for me, and the rest of it was torture because I was carrying on this affair. And like it amounted to meeting in person like twice and talking on the phone. So like that's all that happened, but I had to tell my story. This is how it happened, and this is why it happened, and this is how I felt the Saturn phase every other year, right? It's like the seven of diamonds is the bright, happy, shiny Venus. I love everybody. Life is beautiful. And then the Nine of Hearts is like, I have to learn something, and I hate myself. And yeah, so you're not bipolar, you're just a Seven of Diamonds. So I told my story to myself from the inside, and I was able to forgive myself and say, wow, that was really rough. That was a really difficult experience. So I stopped looking at myself from the outside and like, oh, how could you have done that? And you were so disloyal, and you were, all the judges that come and show up and just like, wow, it is true. The back and forth. So today is a day to really honor your own story. Wait, there's more. There's this esoteric breakthrough insight, amazing thing about the 0 point that's available to us today. I also call myself an esoteric cardologist, but it's kind of a mouthful. I'm like, who really gets that? So I never went anywhere with it. Okay, Mercury, Venus, Mars. Career, Mars, Jack of Diamonds. Do you want to be an entrepreneur? Are you excited about introducing a new value system into the world? Is this a day when you're going to get sort of positively infected with the bug of business creativity? That's a possibility. The Jupiter card is the King of Spades. Here's the esoteric. Really? Thank you for sharing that. It's a really vulnerable thing to confess anything that is in the realm of unfaithfulness, but it always comes from somewhere. And it's because something is presenting that's missing in your field, and you're willing to betray something else in your field and choose this. You're not just betraying a person, you're betraying an aspect of yourself that you don't want to be loyal to anymore. Oh, sweetheart. Oh, yeah, I can say the same thing, except the one I'm in now. So there's hope. Wow. Well, that was a form of loyalty to yourself. It's not the best way to go. There's a huge cost for that, but there's also a huge lesson in that, huge teaching available. Oh, that's awesome. The painting thing, here, look at. The artist card is Mercury when you are the 9 of hearts, or it's your moon. But the 3 of spades is the importance of us bringing forth what's in the heart to manifest into the physical world, which we usually call art, and it can manifest as anything. This is an art form. My last was the Queen of Clubs. Ooh, male Queen of Clubs can be psychotic. Scary. They usually align with the King of Clubs because they don't want to align with the Queen. It's too hard. There's too much betrayal, sensitivity, past life wounding. Their life can be a fucking shit show. And because they don't want to feel their feelings and do the healing work, they're like, oh, I'll just be the king. I'll just lord it over everybody. But here is the secret esoteric truth. Okay, so the shadow side of the King of Clubs is, I know everything. Isn't it obvious? And if you think differently, then you're obviously stupid. They put that energy out there. Okay, that is the ego manifestation of being sure of yourself. This is your Pluto card going down. So dealing with your past and your wounds. One of your wounds is that you never trusted yourself. You were not taught to trust yourself. Your intuition, your feelings, your experience. And when you can get to this King of Clubs, okay, he was the medicine. Yeah, he was the medicine that said, you going to stand in your power? You going to believe in yourself? So we marry it until we become it. You married arrogance until you become arrogance. You married confidence until you can become confidence. And then when you can embody the asshole in a self-controlled, conscious, virtuous way, which is just empowerment, then you don't have to partner with it anymore. It's just an inoculation. It's a jab. It's from Fifth Element. I've been doing that all day. It's homeopathic. It's homeopathic medicine, getting a little dose of what you don't want, and then developing the antibodies. I'm sure you do. I'm sure he was a wonderful person in a lot of ways, and there was a loving contract before you came here. Will you play this role in my life? Yes. Will you hurt me? Yes. Will you abuse me seriously? Will you really fuck me over until I get it? Yes, I will. I will. Thank you. You're welcome. And I love you so much. I love you too. That's the higher self resolution of dating an asshole. So here's the esoteric wisdom of the Two of Spades that sits under the King of Clubs. So the King of Clubs is this arrival into confidence of our own self-esteem. I mean, our own experience, belief. My vantage point is valid. This is the place I'm seeing it from, and that's valid. And when we can say that with the calmness of a child, instead of the roar of the lion, which is a stage we have to pass through, and then we're just like, well, yeah, this is my take on it. The Two of Spades is friendship with the world, with the self, with everyone else sitting in that innocent. Okay, innocence. Innocence is the esoteric truth of the Two of Spades. So when I was telling this, I was in the Seven of Clubs clubhouse room. I said something like, for example, like if someone calls me lazy, or if I think I'm being lazy, she's like, I'm going to call you on that word. She did some numerology on it and found out that it corresponded to the Queen of Diamonds. And so she said, next time you're lazy, or you get called lazy, or think you're lazy, you say, I'm mastering my values. Isn't that great? That was so powerful. That was such a powerful moment for me. I am holding the concept of laziness in the balance because sometimes there's an inertia. I don't want to get up and do it. I'm all warm in bed here. I don't want to, or I just don't feel like doing it today. Is there such a thing as laziness? I do think there can be. I don't know. It's in the balance. So I decided I'm going to hold this energy when I feel that resistance to act or work. I'm going to be neutral about it. I'm not going to name it. And I'm just going to let it be part of my experience, which is innocence. I don't have to judge this. There may be a deeper wisdom. Yeah, some people are like, no, laziness isn't a thing. But resistance to action is definitely, why have I been resistant to action? Would I have been better off if I had just gotten busy and done something? Probably. So, it's not a super heavy indictment of myself. It's just a tendency towards inaction. In fact, in the Buddhist tradition, they say people prefer occurrence or non-occurrence. I would posit that odd cards prefer non-occurrence and even cards prefer occurrence. And there's no judgment either way because they're all into structure and what we're going to do next and building their world in the physical world. And I'm like, I'm all about the internal becoming and this esoteric thing. And anyway, so I wanted to get to the 0 point. Yeah, it's an underlying issue. Thanks for that validation. So the Two of Spades, 0 point, the innocence of our experience, the not having to name it. Where am I getting all this? Uranus. It is the intersection of Uranus and Uranus. This is the weirdest planet. Weird is the word. If anything's weird, it comes from Uranus. It's outside the norm. I've heard that the word weird actually translates to your destiny. And my former business partner told me that randomly in a text today. So go figure. I don't know. Uranus is kind of a wild card. It is the consciousness that's always expanding. It's the new, the unconventional, the age of Aquarius. Let's expand into something. Yeah, weird is usually better, right? See, there's an Aquarian quality to the Seven of Diamonds. No matter what our sign is, there is an Aquarian vibration that says, I'm not normal. I will never be normal. So what the hell do we even have a normal for? So how do I make friends with being I'm always the weird friend. Who's your weird friend? Isn't that usually you? Well, Seven of Diamonds tend to find a way to like themselves. People tend to like us because we're Venus. And so we're like the poster child for it's okay to be weird. It's okay to be you. Okay? Because weird means unique. Isn't everyone unique? Everyone's DNA is unique. So we're a poster child that says, be yourself. We're a letter to the world that says, be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Heaven, fox size, fix size, for sale. Can you talk about Queen of Hearts? I got your kit, but I'd like to know more. Thank you. Well, this is nice. I'm off this afternoon and you're live. That's awesome. I often feel as if they like me and want me like I'm a toy on a shelf until I quickly. Well, because that 9 of Hearts shows up too. And it's like, mortal is setting on the dryer. Normal is a setting on the dryer. What the hell is normal? I think the devil came up with that term. Fuck it. Fuck normal. There's no such thing. Okay, we have a statistical norm, but it just robs us of our authentic experience. And that's what we're a poster child for, the 7 of Diamonds. So, yeah, so are you the Queen of Hearts? And give me a name I can refer to you by. It's garbage. Like Lilu. Can you Lilu? I'm all into the 5th element lately. You're Alexa, okay. I gotta write you down. Alexa, Queen of Hearts, and how old are you, dear? I have a niece named Alexa who's getting married. You're not her, are you? She's not the Queen of Hearts. Okay, so yeah, I'm waiting for Alexa to. You're 30. Okay, so you turned 30. And I guess I have to say, when was your birthday? Was it December 19th, October 17th? Oh, thank you. Okay, so you are part of this nexus. Okay, July 29. Leo. So we have been talking about the Queen of Hearts and the 10 of Spades quite a bit. So if you want to go back and watch some stuff, there's some relevant stuff about that. Queen of Hearts is tricky. It's really tricky. And your Ascension hand goes this way. Your moon card would be the 10 of Clubs. And then you go Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, up to Neptune, Pluto, and then the next 4. So that's the Ascension hand, if you're into that sort of study. Okay, so getting back to the 2 of Spades, the 0 point. So can you have an experience and not name it? Can you be that pure in your presence? Oh, you're welcome. Yes, this is my life now. I'm going to be talking about Ascension Cardology because we're moving up into our potential more than we're healing our past, although both is still happening. And yes, they can help each other. So yeah, can you validate what you're experiencing like an animal does or like a tree does? It helps to name it. There's something alchemical that is so releasing when we name it. So I don't want to diss that experience, but sometimes, it's like we're so pulled out of ourselves so constantly. And the 2 of Spades being today pulls us back in. It's an invitation to ask. It says, what are you experiencing? And then if you just be like, pretend you can't talk and you're just like, offer your vibration to yourself or to God or whoever's listening. This is what I'm experiencing. And just get behind that, and that's valid. Oh, your karma cards? That's trickier with the 7 of Diamonds. It's the circle 7. But this karma card for King of Diamonds is the 3 of Clubs and the 7 of Spades, which is the righteousness card and the writer's card. That's really funny. Yeah, people's proclivities for various cards and poker things, and like when we play cribbage, it's taken me a long time to be able to play cribbage and not do a reading while we're playing. I'm like, oh, I've got my dad. Like, wow, everyone in my family is in my hand. Anyway, the Uranus is where the 2 of Spades really lives. And friendship We can have more authentic, non-hierarchical friendships with each other. The King of Clubs came to me in this really amazing thing. This moment, the King of Clubs showed up and gave me the image of a round table, and everyone's sitting at the round table. They're vertically aligned and connected through the heart. And they're all able to say, I validate with this Two of Spades energy of today, I validate my own experience. I can be friends with the world because I'm so clear about my truth that I can validate your truth. I don't need to fix it or change it or correct you. Can you imagine if we could achieve that in the age of Aquarius? I think that's where we're headed. And the dark controllers, everything boomerangs on them, whether we call it the Rothschilds or the deep state or the Illuminati or the Luciferian agenda, the devil, the fuckheads, who are really serving God somehow by giving us an opportunity to deepen into our truth. Like, okay, so here's a little example that happened with this today. This was so cool. So at the end of yoga class, yeah, it would be utopia. At the end of yoga class today, the gal with whom I am in this band that I joined and then quit, and then I'm like, maybe I'm a substitute. I kind of want to do it, but I don't want to be committed. The Aquarian thing. Don't railroad me into anything. Don't expect anything of me. Oh, that's a hard one for me. So we're talking at the end of class, and I lost my train of thought. It was about church. It was about the dividers, the controllers, the Luciferian agenda. Shit. Oh, the church drama. You guys are funny. That's so funny. Okay, the church drama, this church that I'm not really going to get involved with. It's a unity church, and they don't have a pastor right now. And when I came in, they're still like they have these people who were pastors in Sun City, Arizona, and they speak like twice a month, and then someone else randomly will speak every other week. And I think that is a utopian church. And I was like, don't change it. This is perfect. Like one day, if I want to get up and talk about my dog, I should be allowed to do that. And it would probably be so much better than some stupid sermon. anyway, I shouldn't diss it too much. So anyway, she's talking about all this, and these people that sort of want to, they're the ones they show up every other week. They're candidating, but they're also on the search committee. They're like, oh, they really, really want to be chosen for this role, but they're really would be good at ministering to a retirement community. And this church kind of doesn't feel like it wants to go in that direction. It's time to grow. There's a beginning energy with this church, and it's just beginning to attract. It's starting over. It's having a reset. And so I said, these people are a gift to you because they're uniting you, because they're showing up to be the polarity so that you can all have a common, not enemy, but that polarity over there. Who are we as unity and what do we want? And I said, if you didn't have them, you would find a way to divide amongst yourselves because that's what we do. It's what the ego does. But you. So that's the purpose of evil, I think, is to help us unite in the light and get even more clear and defined about what the light is and what it wants and the anatomy of the light. Let's just do this cross section of eternity and call it time and one day at a time and the human journey. So anyway, getting back into this non-hierarchical, the controllers. They think they had the best of us. They think they divided us over the last couple years. And everybody has Democrats and Republicans in the same family, the same social circles, the same church, the same friend group. Exactly. And we have had to choose love. Some people didn't. I'm still not talking to my brother because he got really nasty one time. It was like a demon was coming through him, and it was like, whoa, it was kind of scary. It was his shadow. Might have been a demon. I don't know. But I was just like, whoosh. It was a magical moment. I was really clear and non-reactive. It was really a miracle. But I'm not square with him yet. And I'm not going to tell you who's on what side because it's going to trigger everyone who's on the other side. And when you're on in this camp or you believe this thing, you feel obligated to, like, oh, you must be all of these things that's in this camp and none of the things that's in this camp. Leona! Love. Well, but they do. And we're learning more and more about love, what love really is. And it starts with the self because we know what feels good and what doesn't feel good. And it's that primal. And today is a day as the Two of Spades to address that feeling. You don't think that way though, right? I don't. Right. It's like, oh, you're in this camp, but you think this, and you're in this camp, so you must think this. And so we make all these assumptions about the people in the other camp, and then we're all divided. No, I'm not good at seeing all sides. As a seven of diamonds, I am very, and I don't know if this is true for you guys, but Annette, guess what? We have 4 seven of diamonds in the group. We have a 6 of diamonds. You are the 4 of diamonds. We have a queen of hearts, the lonely heart, and the 10 of hearts. So we have 2 hearts, and the rest are diamonds, hearts and diamonds. Diamonds tend to cluster, I always say. So I'm very emotionally wedded to my perspective, and this has been a huge challenge for me to stay out of the head and get into the heart, because that's the challenge. I see it the way I see it. But if I'm going to be in relationship, I have to make that secondary and say, I choose love. I choose to be in love with you rather than right, even though I still believe I'm right and he's wrong. I, yeah, oh my God. So this is a divine challenge. Okay, we're kind of addicted to mind. And once Robert Camp said to me in this workshop, the king of clubs rules the world, or something to that effect. And I was like, isn't it the king of spades? What he was dropping was, and if you look at the king of clubs, and you can't see it, but he's holding a globe. And the globe represents the world, rulership of the world. The world is ruled through consciousness. And if you can claim ownership and sovereignty over your own consciousness and your vibratory state, what attracts things into our lives is our vibratory state. That is consciousness. And if you can be the master of your vibratory state, which is not easy, like I'm going to vibrate this way. And so you're proactive, you put on the right music, you dance, you draw, you call a friend, or to shift your vibration. It takes so much. But getting good at that is a really, really important thing, because if the consciousness and the vibrational frequency can be controlled by the dark ones, they've got control of the whole planet. And they pretty much have up until about 5 years ago, when there began a mass awakening. And people, the lid started, the matrix started to get peeled away in a way it had never been before, ever, in our known even galactic history. So something started to come away. We began to see through it and pierce the veil and see above the duality and see the perspective that I have, that I'm not going to tell you what it is regarding politics and all that. It's not regarding politics. It's that I see above both of them now. And I'm like, oh, I see the game. So the party I used to be in, they think that I'm in the other party, but now I'm in neither. And they don't get that yet. But I think one party, no, I'm not even going to say that. Right? Oh, I love it. Hey, King of Diamonds, I keep a boundary between my brother, and I sometimes feel bad because I don't really know my nieces or my nephew. Oh, that's so cool. Hi, One Objective. Oh, you're the King of Diamonds. I'm going to put that down. King of Diamonds. And you guys have a reading with me, you and your partner, and I can't remember what your name was. Was it Alicia or something like that? Um just sometimes they are just different, and sometimes each of them has a piece of the puzzle. Trying to think our feelings, that's good. My brother went off on me, my daughter, my dad unjustly, and it broke my daughter's heart, but it was very abusive. I forgive, but my daughter, who was a Three of Spades, did not. Ooh, that's rough. People are turning off their autopilot and taking the control back. Yes. Yep. And that's the point. That's the point. The autopilot is the matrix. And there are, I remember I was listening to Corey Good a while back. Alicia and Raymond L. Thank you. Alicia. I'm going to put that down. So we've just got diamonds and hearts in this group. Isn't that interesting? So Corey Good, he was the guy that came out and started blowing the whistle on the secret space program about 7 years ago. I was 47 or 48. I think I was going from 47 to 48 that year and had a repressed memory come up, and it was like, it was hell. But one thing that he said is we're all mind controlled. Like he was talking about the MK Ultra program and a bunch of behind the scenes kind of stuff that, we've kind of wondered about. We've had little bits and pieces. Some people have had the whole picture, like Liara, like I had the whole picture for years and years. And now people are just starting to see what I've been seeing for decades. But, oh yeah, not me, never. We're all mind controlled, and there are so many little ways I keep extracting myself from the matrix, and I'm going, oh, they've been telling us this because it puts us in this state. Like even the use of the word normal. Language is one of the spell casting tools that they have. Language, like, a driveway and a freeway, like they're the opposite. The driveway you park in, the freeway you drive in, that kind of thing. Anyway, yeah, neuro-linguistic programming, NLP. And they get you to believe something just because they repeat it over and over and over, and you're just like, oh, well, it must be true because I've heard it 10,000 times, and it's like, I don't think that's true. And once you have the courage, and this Two of Spades day is such a key time to talk about that, because you've always got to ask the question, does that align with me and my energy field and my spirit? Does that feel right? Does that align with me? And I just kind of want to get away from this realm I'm getting much too close to. I don't want to talk about the division. I want to keep rising above that. But the Two of Spades is good at, okay, so when I was a Christian, here's a really good example. When I was a really, conservative Christian, and that's all I knew, there was this big push to proselytize and witness to your friends and bring them to the Lord, share the Lord with them, help them accept Jesus as their savior, all this terminology. And there was a lot of pressure for us to do that. And I was like, no, I hated it. I just hated it. And I came to realize, like, there was this class at Wheaton College, a really great college, by the way, but there was this class called the Persuasion, the Art of Persuasion. And it pissed me off. And I was like, why would I want to persuade anybody of anything? Oh, I got to turn off the stove because I'm cooking some dried on eggs. And I don't want that to cook anymore. I was like, what gives me the right to persuade anybody of anything? Because they're on their path. And so when I finally left formalized Christianity, it's like I was able to kind of push out my container and go, oh, there. That's so much more comfortable. I don't believe in persuading someone. I mean, and now here I am, the same energetic of being emotionally fused to my beliefs. And yes, I want to persuade the world of the truth that I know. It isn't just my opinion. It's the truth that I know. And I hope that doesn't offend anybody, that I feel really sure about my truth, but I do. Anyway, to say that somebody is wrong where they are for thinking what they do, even if you know the truth, and you see them believing a lie, that's part of their path. And as a Christian, I would say, okay, so here's this person's path. And like, say 10 years down the road, they come to Jesus. And this moment right now, where they're like having an affair or they're, doing something that Christendom is looking at as bad and they're condemning it, they're having this experience, say, of, Buddhism or whatever. Who's to say that isn't part of their path, an instrumental piece in their journey that's going to get them ultimately to accept the Lord? Then who am I to say this is bad and this is wrong and you're wrong because you're not on the same path as me right now? It's that delusional. It's like, you know what? Everyone is exactly where they're supposed to be, even if they're being mind controlled right now. So that Two of Spades, I'm loyal to my experience, and I can be in the 0 point with it and just let you go to your experience and know that that's perfect too. Thanks, Retta. Being a teacher and manipulating others' thoughts is very different. Oh, that's true. It's like, people in positions of power that don't respect your capacity to just be where you are. Me too. Got away from Jesus' story, brought me to where we are, the gods within, lost astrological starlight. Wow. You're welcome. And the ironic thing is that I got pulled back to Jesus, but it was a spiral. And now I'm at a much different vantage point. And when I came back through a boyfriend who was the Jack of Clubs and the Four of Diamonds, the worst emotional quality of relationship I've ever had in my life, but that wasn't the purpose of it. It's like there's the 3 levels of relationship. There's like the mundane and physical, and then there's the emotional, and then there's the spiritual. And we had a spiritual connection, and the sex was good at first, but then it was just the spiritual connection, and that was it. But that was the point of it. And he had no religious training or spiritual background, and all of a sudden Jesus and Yogananda show up in his life. And it was 10 years after I had left Christianity, and it was like this moment in my life when Jesus was like, so what do you think? And I had to have an authentic, real-time encounter with him. And he's like, I led you out of formalized Christianity to deprogram you, to show you who I really am so that you can tell them who I really am. It's like, right on. I like that. So we're really tight. Yeah, so Retta, when's your birthday? I'm writing down everybody's card in the house. And we're talking about today being the Two of Spades. Tomorrow is the Ace of Spades. And I will be discussing on Clubhouse and YouTube, this channel, at the same time. I have to burp. Excuse me. Hey, can you see my tree that's lit up back there? Turned it on just for the video. You can't even see it. It's battery operated, so I better turn it off. So the Cardology system is signified by the Ace of Spades, which is tomorrow. So I will be talking about the Ascension hand of the Ace of Spades, asking and answering the question. I have no idea what I'm going to say. We'll just see where the cards lead us. But where is the card system going? And I'll talk about, the Ace of Spades day, but okay. November 28th. Are you the 3 of Hearts? 94. My daughter was born in 92, which means you're 27. November 28th. 5 of Hearts, 7 of Clubs. You are the 5 of Hearts. So if we leave off the 7 of Clubs, then what that means is that we still have only hearts and diamonds in the room, which I'm really kosher with because as a 7 of diamonds, I'm also the 9 of hearts. And we have 4 7 of diamonds in the room, which is really unusual. So how are we related to the 2 of Spades? In the spiritual spread, the 2 of Spades is our Pluto card in the descending hand. I don't know what descending and ascending means over here as opposed to over here yet. I'm just learning ascending hand over here. But let's think about that a minute. If Two of Spades, okay, if Pluto is the ultimate death and rebirth experience, your King of Hearts brother married a Seven of Diamonds. That's insane. No, it isn't insane. It just seems like something that's going on in your family. That's awesome, though. Do you get along? That's going to be a mirror for you. So, Retta, the Five of Hearts, they're really rare. Five of Hearts. It's a tricky card to be. And you know, the vast majority of them are really, really attractive. When I did this study of them, John Stewart is the Five of Hearts. And you know what? Ultimately, when they find this energy of gratitude, it's like this final, this becoming. So your ascending hand would be Moon, Sun, Mercury, go up and to the right. Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Yep, Saturn. Saturn, 10 of Diamonds. That's a perfect fit for gratitude. That's just something I observed about Jon Stewart, is that he got to this place, like his final show, he just thanked, he took an entire 2-hour show just to thank everybody. Oh, yeah, then she doesn't love herself, because you're a reflection of her too. So yeah, gratitude, Five of Hearts. Knowing that, you know, being in the act of receiving blessing and then letting it flow through you. Okay, if you've got that piece, then you're working that part of your ascension hand. So descending is about going into the past and repairing the hurts. Ascending is about living into our potential. So yeah, jealousy. Yep, that's a big part of it. Seven of Diamonds, Nine of Hearts is always going to struggle with self-esteem and that kind of thing. So that's why the Two of Hearts today is a Pluto day. So today is a kind of death and rebirth experience for Seven of Diamonds, and that must be another reason that you're here. Pluto says something in you has to die so that something can live. I think that that ego structure that has to die is this addiction to other people's opinions of me, or that I have to conform to something exterior to me in order to be loved, be acceptable. Because the puzzle that the Seven of Diamonds is solving, yes, gonna work. The puzzle we have to solve, which is what I'm just about to say, is loving ourselves and finding unconditional value. There's an obstacle for all the sevens. And Retta, you're the Five of Hearts and the Seven of Clubs. So this is true for you. You're going down this path, dun, 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 and then there's an obstacle. All sevens represent an obstacle, which is attachment. You can think of it as attachment. And once we get up over that, then we can proceed. So raising the vibration around the attachment. We're attached to a certain value system. This is what should be important. Well, what's actually important? And are you valuable, and translating your unique value into the world and being rewarded financially for it? Like, that's the ultimate trick. So what's the Pluto? Pluto is friendship, the Two of Spades. Can you become your own best friend and be loyal to yourself at all costs? All costs. Sometimes we think that means we have to end relationships, and sometimes that's true and sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it's just holding a place in the context of that relationship where you're no longer signing on the dotted line to betray yourself. And if they're good with that, they can stay. If they're not, they can go. Because, yeah, and Seven of Diamonds will manifest that kind of relationship as a test. Oh, so it's 11:59. It's midnight where you are. Right on. So it's Ace of Spades where you are. That is so cool. So now the Ace of Spades has been brought into the room. Cardology. And Seven of Diamonds. I will make this suggestion to you. This was a mistake. Somebody said something and I misinterpreted, and then it turned out to be a thing. They said the Pluto line is the word they used. This is a Six of Hearts woman whose dad was a Mason. And so I was like, oh, this is the Pluto line. This means that everyone in this line is Pluto to me. Turns out it's true. So this is Mercury, Mercury. We are Venus, Venus. Here's Mars, Mars, Jupiter, Jupiter, Saturn, Saturn, Uranus, Uranus, Two of Spades today, Neptune, Neptune. And interesting, we've talked about a number of those cards today. Everybody in this line has been Pluto to me, meaning when they show up, they are this incredible challenge to me. They trigger the hell out of me. And then I'm like, oh, what do I have to look at in myself? So I feel like we're kind of complete with that. How are we with what they're challenging? The Nine of Diamonds is Saturn to the Nine of Hearts. So in the Nine of Hearts chart, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, the descending Saturn. But the Queen of Diamonds is karma to that. So in the Ascension chart, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, they can be Jupiter. It's about gratitude. It's about surrender. Nine of Diamonds energy they should represent a giving channel, giving and giving. I personally fell madly in love with the Nine of Diamonds because I recognized him as my ideal. He was so resonant with my divine blueprint. I was falling in love with what I could become. And on Clubhouse, if you go on my page, you'll see, I don't know if you can go on people's pages or profiles, but I did a recording called Nine of Diamonds Infinite Value. And it's like Lao Tzu. To be able to show up, give your gift, and then leave and have it not be about you. That to me is the achievement of a Nine of Diamonds. Oh, that's awesome, Retta. Wow. Well, Queen of Diamonds have a big charge for us. Queen of Diamonds are the truth teller. I think that's all for now. So I'm going to go. I will be back tomorrow. What time? 10 a.m. Mountain Time. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 p.m. UK time. And it's 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern, and 9 Pacific. I will show up and I will talk about the Ace of Spades here and on my Facebook. If you want to, I don't know if I'm going to use this Facebook channel, honestly, because Facebook's so frustrating. It's like I came on here in a nasty frame of mind because I scheduled an event and I couldn't even go live. It's like they gave me a jet cockpit, this Meta Business Suite. It's a jet cockpit. I don't want a jet. I just want a scooter. I just want to do a live video when I want to do a live video. Sorry, I am just like really upset with Facebook right now. Nonetheless, I do have a new page there called Ascension Cardology, and I'll be posting things there so you can check it out. I also have a page on Facebook called Kismet Cards. And this YouTube channel, if you look on the playlist, there's a lot of fascinating videos. Like your court cards, like if you're a club, look up the Queen, Jack, and King of Clubs, and they're all archetypes, and then they all have relationships with the other archetypes. So anyway, I love you guys. No, I'm not in the UK. Liara is in the UK. She's a dear, dear, dear friend. She's my Four of Diamonds buddy. Okay, does anybody else have any final messages? I am so excited. Is it Chaley? Chaley, tell me if I'm saying it right. Thank you so much for participating and being a Seven of Diamonds. Thank you for choosing it. You chose it. And it's not easy. And just know this, that Buddhist masters have said, if you are here in a body, you're so welcome, seer. You are the one hair on the ox that made it through into the earth plane. Your precious human birth. Oh, you're in Utah. Shaylee. Shaylee. That was supposed to be a normal, normal what? Normal is garbage. I love how you said that. It's a setting on the dryer. God, what was I just saying? A normal smiley. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember what I was saying. Thank you guys for oh, yeah, your precious human birth. Thank you for choosing the card that you are, because every path is incredibly challenging. It's the hero's journey, every single one. Okay, what book? Because I'm gonna show you a couple books. One I don't have out here, but this Destiny Cards is like, I just discovered that it's like the 1998 version, and there's the new edition is like 60 frickin' dollars. But you can get an older edition, like on thrift books. There's one for it's a blue one, and it's a lot more recent, and it's like $23. Yeah, oh, I'm really glad you stopped in too. Yes, and I wrote a book called So You Got a Destiny Cards Book, Now What? And it helps you use this book and interpret it and stuff. This is a gem. Even if you get the really old edition, that's all been loved up on, like the what was that rabbit, that book about the rabbit that got so loved up that it fell apart? I'm trying to remember the name of that. Um, get an old one, because this is what you want. This stuff right here. So what I've been reading from to figure out everybody's cards is this page, the Seven of Diamonds. And I put my birthday in there and marked it all up so that I can understand yada yada what I'm looking at, and then other family members. So thank you for joining me again. Yeah, thrift books. It's not Amazon. Abe Books is now Amazon. But thrift books, I worked really hard to find a site that wasn't like, Jeff Bezos doesn't need more money. There is no card that is the best match for you. There is a soul that chose a particular card spread that there was a good match to do work together, to either support you or challenge you. And that will show up in the form of many different relationships. You can plan as a Seven of Diamonds, female. You're going to have a lot of relationships, because you know what? You're going to be instrumental in the lives of a lot of people. You're TNT. You make people grow. Okay? And there's not a lot of us to go around. So, you're going to have a lot of partners because they need you. Okay, I love you guys. I seriously really love you. I'll talk to you later. You're welcome. Bye.